Welcome, silver stackers, gold stackers, bullion. Welcome to today's talk, because this is an amazing price alert. Now, gold to silver ratio hitting 105 to 1 is an amazing momentum. And do you think that silver is about to 5x from what it is today? Can you imagine the results from that? Now, I'm going to be talking to you today about how to look out for this, what the signals are, for example. So welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about what I feel, and from what the experts are saying as well, regarding the silver. Okay, so let's dive in, shall we? So first of all, welcome to my channel, for example. I'm Christine Crowell, and I am living in Cyprus, sunny Cyprus, and really I am really an enthusiastic person that is a silver stacker as well as gold stacker as well. And I'm really here to build wealth for my legacy and to help to grow the channel as well, and to help other silver, gold stackers as well grow their wealth, grow their legacy, for example. So let's break this down. So the gold to silver ratio is sitting at an insane 105 to 1 ratio. So what does that mean? Could silver actually 5x from here where we are today? Could gold reach 12,000? Some experts are predicting this if the ratio changes, for example. So let's get into it. So imagine right now, for example, so right now the gold is at, when I looked earlier, it was at 3,400, for example. Silver was at 32.76. And I'm just going to quickly have a look now so that we're getting a live update. So silver is currently at 30, because, you know, I believe that silver is the dark horse. I believe that silver is like the tortoise that is winning the race, for example. Gold currently is at $3,280.40. So let's get back into this. So now that you know what the live rates are as of today, which is the 23rd of April, it is just after 2 p.m., for example, US time. So the silver daily gain is, at the current moment, is 3%, for example. So that is a sharp move. So a 3% spike in one day is really showing the real momentum of silver. Historically, the average ratio is around 3.1, but this is 3.3, for example. So the average ratio is around 63 to 1. So over the last 50 years, that means right now silver is undervalued. So do you think that silver is going to catch up soon? Drop a chat in, drop a comment in the chat, for example, about if you're stacking right now, is it gold, silver, or maybe you're doing both, for example. So let me just go through the historical ratio highlights for you here. So let me take you back. Okay, so ancient Rome, the ratio was 12 to 1. In the 20th century, for example, it was averaged at 47 to 1, for example. In 2011, the silver boom ratio hit 30 to 1. In 2020, the pandemic, for example, the spike was 125 to 1. Now, late 2024 stabilized around 82 to 1, for example. Now, today it's at 105 to 1. It's extremely rare. This is a sign. I always talk about patterns, history repeating itself. We got to look for these patterns and study in these markets because there's a pattern. It's really strange, isn't it, how history does repeat itself. And silver has really surged back fast right now, and especially after the spikes. So since 1971, for example, when the US fully abandoned gold standard, for example, we've seen major gold bull markets, for example. So let's look at this. 1970s, the bull market, gold soared from $35 to $850 per ounce. By 1980, can you imagine? That's a 2,300% increase. 2000 bull market, the gold rose from 250 to 1,900. So that's from 2001 it was $250, and 2011 it was $1,900. So that's a 660% gain. So today's hallmark of any major bull market, if gold makes another 5 to 10x move, for example, what happens to silver? History suggests that it will even go further. So let's break this down. Let's look at these scenarios here. So what do you think might happen next? Scenario 1 is that silver 5x's from $32, for example, 0.76 per ounce, to $163.80 per ounce. Scenario 2, ratio hits 160 to 1, silver drops to $21.48. So whether it explodes or dips first, we're in a tug of war. Yeah, the tug of war. Whether you're stacking right now, I still believe it is a smart move. So in the chat, for example, would you buy more silver at $21.48, for example, or would you buy more silver at $163? I think it's a wise move to buy, and let me just say, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just speaking from my own watching the patterns, listening to specialist analysis, for example, like Michael Oliver, for example. I've been listening to him quite a lot, for example. So, for example, what do you think that the stacking target is for 2025? I'd love to hear your comments in the chat. So let's look at the financial shift here. Now, here's something that's sending shockwaves. The former president, President Trump, for example, recently made he's quite good at making these cryptic clues, for example, cryptic social media posts referring to the golden rule. He says that many believe it's a signal. Well, some people believe that it's a signal of imminent financial system reset. Don't take my word for it. This is what I've been hearing from some of the analysis, but also he's mentioned this. And one that favors gold holders, for example. As central banks around the world quietly abandon US treasuries, for example, and shift towards physical gold reserves, we could be witnessing the largest global wealth transfer in modern history. Away from the fiat, that's cash, for example, hard money. If this really unfolds, if this reset unfolds, that means that holding physical gold and silver could be a new financial elite. So let me just go through this, right? President Trump has made this move where he says, you know, he who holds the golden, who is golden holds all of the power, basically. That's what he was saying in his post on social media, for example. Now, are you buying physical silver? Are you buying gold right now? Have you added silver to your retirement for a long-term plan? Because silver is a long-term plan. It's not a quick over the night. A lot of people, what they tend to do is they sell while the price is, you know, slightly high. They think, oh, it's a good time to sell. And yes, if you need that, if you need to do that, then that is another story, for example. But do you trust the US dollar long term? I'd love to know your comments, for example. Now, let me go further here. Scenario A, 105 to 1 ratio doesn't come often, does it? For some of you that are silver stackers, gold stackers, bullion, for example. And when silver rebounds, it shows that it moves fast. You don't have to go all in. Just plan smart. Make a start, for example. Because this is really something that is taking us into another level, for example. I would also love to say as well that because of how gold moves, usually silver is also drawn to it to magnify. But there's a lot of millionaires, there's a lot of central banks, a lot of government organizations where they're actually ordering physical gold, but also they're ordering a lot of silver because that they know that the silver demand is running out of the supply, for example. So they know that the silver is going to reach a peak, for example, because the demand. But this isn't being mentioned on mainstream media, for example. It's not being mentioned enough. No one's hardly talking about this. And we really should be talking about it because the gold is amazing, but also silver is the one that's going to really push forward. And someone says, so someone's saying, I'd like to believe it. Yeah, good. I'm glad that you're buying gold and silver, because if you buy both, you've got the gold for if you need to buy something, because in America, gold is becoming a monetary system where you can actually use it in some states, depending on what type of gold it is that you've got. So someone says, silver up $1 right now. Yeah, silver is going up. And I believe that silver is like the tortoise that won the race. You know the story of the tortoise and the hare? I believe that silver is the secret sauce. And I'm purchasing silver, for example, and I'll show you, for example, I purchased this silver coin, for example. It's a collector's coin. There's 15,000 worldwide, for example, it's the Australian coin, for example, and it's got the Queen Elizabeth on there, for example, and it's a $1. But I purchased this and I was drawn to it, and it's a silver coin, a 1 ounce coin. I was drawn to it because it's got my logo on, for example. You'll see the logo in the watermark. And I purchased this for about $35, for example. Okay. When I took it home, for example, I then checked it online to see what the valuation is as well, and it came up with $60 or more, for example. I mean, the dealer said it's worth about, I paid 35, he said it's worth about $5. It's like I made $5 whilst I was in the shop. But when I went home, for example, it turned out that it's actually worth more than that. But this isn't what I'm looking to sell instantly. I'm looking to build my legacy, my wealth. And that's why it's good to go into dealers as well as buying online. You know, I'm not saying not to do that, but visit your local dealers and talk to them and, you know, get information from them, because that coin that I just showed you is a bullion coin, for example. It's a mint coin. It came with a certificate, for example. I purchased it here in Cyprus, but yet it doubled in value, which is amazing, and that was silver. So to me, I believe that silver is going to 5x, and I can't really see why, because of the demand. You know, we're building more things industrial wise, AI chips, the data centers that have been talked about for so long, for example, the solar panels, for example, that are needed, for example, the medical equipment, the defense equipment they need silver. They can't substitute it with anything else. Yeah, that is this is a collector's coin, for example. You are right, it is a collector's coin, but I wanted to show you, and that's why I said if you visit your dealers, for example, your local dealers, they may have some good deals for you. Check it out, and when you're there you can see how much it is worth, for example. So you've just said when I had the silver. So the weight, so this is a 1 ounce, for example. And when I was doing gold, and I used to do scrap gold and silver in 2007, and yes, it was about weight, for example, and we turned the scrap gold and silver into silver bars or gold bars, for example. And you're right, yeah. So I like I was experimenting. So I when I went into that store, the reason why I got that is because it was my logo. I saw the logo, I was drawn to it. And yes, the silver stackers, in terms of the coins, for example, then that is something as well that is of value. They're both, it depends, you know, you can get a collection coin and it can be worth a lot of money, for example, but you can also, with the silver coin, is also what I'm really referring to as well. I just got that because of the logo. I was drawn to it, for example. So the silver and gold coins is, you know, I just believe that the silver is just going to 5x. Can you imagine silver being $163 per ounce if it does 5x? You know, that's quite a big jump, isn't it? What I to you is to, I've got a link here. I've got my gifts as well. Download them and put your information on your own, build your own stack, for example, and look at this as a 5 to 10 year strategy. Look at this as a 5 to 10 year strategy is, you know, going to be, you know, taking you to a whole new level. Okay, so always think about your stack. You want to build it for 5 to 10 years. It's not something that's going to be instant. It's a stack for 5 to 10 years minimum. Otherwise you're going to be looking at a quick fix. Like I said, gold and silver, building wealth is something that takes years. It's not something that is quick and fast. So you want to be able to build over 5 to 10 years. Download the Silver Stacker guide that I've got here, and you will see how much you're growing within a 12-month period, and then you'll be able to do the value as the years go on. For example, you can look at what the month is when you purchased, how much you brought it for, what the value is, for example, and then by the end of the year you'll be able to add up what the true value is for each of those coins that you purchase. Whenever you purchase, whether it's monthly or weekly, for example, a silver coin at $35, for example, 1 ounce is going to really take you to another level, for example. So really look at building your stack. And this is why I've come on here to say that I believe that gold to silver ratio is going to make it so that silver is going to 5x. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much, Kat, for example, for your comments here. And you know what? Like I said, it's not about, we're seeing gold is going up, but gold is like 3,000. Why not get some silver behind you, for example? If you know, start off small. You don't have to start off big and, you know, buy something. You can even buy a 1/4 of an ounce gold coin, for example, for $800, for example. But, you know, not everyone's got that. So start off with silver. But I do believe that silver is going to grow massively. I really truly believe that it's going to grow to another level. So let's build and stack together. And what I'd like you to do is to let me know in the comments, are you a silver stacker or are you a gold stacker? And download the free gift today, and I look forward to speaking with you more on the growth of silver, because to me, I like gold, don't get me wrong, but I believe that silver is going massive. And the Cat you just said, you know, it's a great way to start if you haven't started already. So I'd love to know your thoughts, and thank you so much for your subscribing, for your comments. I appreciate you, and also thank you so much for liking the channel as well. Do subscribe and do listen for more. I think I'm going a bit swirly here, I'm not sure. I hope you can hear me okay. And what I want to hear from you is, someone said here, yeah, yeah, so a lot of people are buying. You can even buy a gram of gold, but have it physical. Please, all of you, have it physical, not on paper, digital. Have it physically so that you've got it. So that if the time comes, that you do have it for your own security. Build a legacy. Build it. Look at this as a 5-10 year plan, not something that's going to just be for a couple of months. Make this your hobby, make it your wealth, make it your growth, and make it for a 5-10 year process, because that is going to help you to pay for different things that you're going to need to pay for. Because at the end of the day, cash can't really rely on. The currency is just going down. It's going down in value. Gold and silver is going to hold its value. And yes, there'll be ups and downs, but it will hold its value. And that is the key, that we keep growing and buying silver. Because, you can grow it. If you want to get gold, then get gold. Whatever it is that you can afford, and whatever it is you want to buy, then do so. But start now if you haven't started already, because these are patterns, these are signs for us to look. They're not showing it in mainstream media. They're not talking about it in the press. We're not hearing it on television. Buy gold. We can do this because the central banks, the governments, the millionaires, for example, they're purchasing a lot of silver right now. So why can't we do the same? Why can't we grow as well and build our stack? So download today the free stacker. It's there. I'm going to put some more links here as well, and check out my other videos about the world's wealthiest mines. Check it out, because they're also becoming a new thing as well, mining stocks. But you've got to be with the right mining stock companies, for example. But like I said, I am not a financial advisor. However, I'm just a person who is interested in buying gold and silver. I've had my own gold and silver business in 2007, where we were purchasing scrap gold and silver and getting it at 30% less than what the spot price was. So the profit was in there, and turning that scrap jewelry into gold and silver bars. So I know that it can help you, and also to build wealth as well. Not saying you're going to be a millionaire and you're going to get rich. It's about security. It's about security, and that's what this is about. Because we don't know what our pensions are going to be when the time comes. So this is the reason why I'm so passionate about it now, is so that we can be more aware of this. And people are keeping it secret. It's not in the mainstream media. They're not talking about buy gold, buy silver, for example. YouTube are talking about it. YouTubers, creators, for example. And we need to also become a part of that. So, like I said, I'm from the UK. I was born in the UK, Nottingham. Nottingham in England. I lived in America as well. New York, Atlanta, New Jersey as well. And, I know that this is a good, massive thing that we should be focusing on. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there. Let's look at this and building a wealth, a legacy foundation. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to access your gold and silver when you need to. Because like I said, the currency is just going down in value. So it's losing its value. Every single year, the cash is losing its value. Shocking. And same with our pensions, for example. Every year it's losing its value. So it's important to, I believe it's important to stack so that when your pension time comes, you can enjoy your pension and not live from check to check, for example. That you can go and have fun, travel, see the world, and not be thinking, I've got to save, I've got to be careful what I eat because I can't go out for a meal, because I can't afford to, all of these things. But if you've got some gold in your hand, imagine 10 years from now, for example, and silver goes up, what that would be, for example. This is the new currency. Guys, this is the new currency. We're going to be walking around with bags of coins like how it was in the old days, with a satin bag with our coins in, going to the shop, the supermarkets, or paying for something to say, here you go. Or you can even give a loved one a gift. You know, like if it's a birthday or whatever, instead of giving them something else, give them a silver coin. In the old days, when a child was born, you would give them a coin, wouldn't you? For example, you know, and really if that child kept that money from many years ago, it would have been worth a lot of money today. But we don't think like that, do we? I know some people, they have saved for years, literally. And they have saved for like 10 years, and then they're drawn, they're able to, if they want, they can draw like 300,000, for example. We got to start stacking and saving wisely. Otherwise, we're going to be at the mercy of the currency, which is deflating. This is the new monetary system. Gold, silver, precious metals is the new monetary system. And I believe that this silver is going to 5x. And can you imagine that? 5x. Can you imagine an ounce of silver being $163 for 1 ounce of silver? It's way behind gold because obviously there's a lot of purposes for silver, for example, but all I'm seeing is that silver is going up. Even right now, it is holding its own, for example. And I'll tell you what it is right now. Silver, it's at $33.52. As I was speaking with you, when I first came on, it increased by 3.13%. It's now at 3.27%. Now that is a pattern. That is a sign for me to keep sticking with silver. It's at $33.49 right now. Silver is. Gold, yes, it's doing great and wonderful, and it's going to go up and up and up, but so is silver. It just takes time. It's the tortoise, and we all know what happened with the tortoise. It won the race. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's live, and I'll be coming on here live tomorrow as well. And I just want to say thank you, Kat, for all of your comments. Thank you so much for your encouragement. Thank you. I really do appreciate your words. I really do. And thank you everyone for your likes. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Join me. I am a a woman going into her 60s in a couple of months, and I am silver stacking. That's my aim, and I'm going to keep putting these free gifts here for you to be able to start stacking too, because once you see it on paper and you're stacking, and then you check to see what the value is at the end of the year, that is where you know that you're in the right place. And gold and silver will, you know, it will fluctuate, but it's always going to hold its own. It stands the test of time. Cash didn't come first. It was gold and silver. So yeah, gold dropped. It dropped by 100 today, you know, and it increased by 100 2 days ago, but it dropped by 100 today. But with silver, I think that that's the best thing. Yeah, so you said, Dad Stacker, for 15 years. Wow. Wow. Amazing, amazing man. You see, he's the smart one. Definitely. See, I know a lot of stackers, peers, and they're doing really well. You know, they need that extra cash, they've got it. Nothing's stopping them. They can lend against it. There's all kinds of things you can start to do with it as well. So let's get busy and let's start stacking and, you know, really making notes of what we're doing so that we can feel the benefit from it, knowing what we've done, for example. So for me, stacking silver is my higher ratio. I will stack some gold, but silver is my higher ratio because I believe, like I said, silver is going to go up big time. So thank you so much everyone for being here today. Join me for